The World Health Organization says that drastic action is needed to stop the Ebola epidemic outbreak in West Africa. It has sent teams of experts to help locals deal with the epidemic, and the WHO plans to meet next week to discuss how to contain it. Relief workers on the ground say the epidemic has hit unprecedented proportions. There has been at least 600 cases and 390 deaths in Guinea, Sierra Leone, and Liberia since the epidemic began in March. A mass protest in Hong Kong is looming as a push for democracy gathers steam. 800,000 people voted for full democracy in an unofficial referendum. This is a move likely to stoke anti-China sentiment in the former British colony. Several groups have indicated that they will stage overnight vigils after the march in a possible prelude to a planned campaign to shut down the city's financial district. The vote was organized by Occupy Central, and it comes at a time when many Hong Kong residents fear that civil liberties are being stripped away. As many as 30 migrants were found dead on a boat packed with people off of the coast of Sicily. Italy's Navy rescued thousands more trying to cross from North Africa over the weekend. The dead are thought to have either drowned or suffocated on the overcrowded fishing vessel. The discovery underlined the scale of the crisis in the waters of the southern Mediterranean, where hundreds die making the journey to Europe.
China is to reopen its embassy in Somalia after the country moves towards restoring peace and ending its civil war. China's announcement comes just over 3 weeks after the United States said it will appoint a new ambassador to Mogadishu for the first time since closing its embassy there 23 years ago. Britain and Turkey have both opened embassies in Somalia and other countries, including Iran, and are also vying for influence in Somalia, the East African nation. A young newlywed couple in northeastern Pakistan died a horrible death at the hands of the bride's family in the latest honor killing in that nation. The couple, identified as Sajjad Ahmed, 26, and Muawi Bibi, 18, were married by a Pakistani court on June 18th against the wishes of the Bibi family. The bride's father and uncles lured the couple back to the village of Satra in Punjab province, where it was said the pair were tied up and then decapitated. The family then turned themselves into the police. In Pakistan, 869 women were victims of honor killings last year.
A U.S. Marine listed as a deserter for almost a decade after his return to the United States following his brief disappearance in Iraq is back in military custody. 34-year-old Corporal Wasef Ali Hassoun is scheduled to return today to Camp Lejeune in North Carolina, 9.5 years after he failed to report for duty there on January 5th of 2005. He had since been listed as a deserter. Hassoun was first charged with desertion 10 years ago after disappearing from his base near Fallujah in Iraq in June of 2004. He then turned up in Lebanon a month later, saying he had been kidnapped by militants. A judge will determine this week whether there's enough evidence to keep a Georgia man in jail whose son died in a hot SUV. Justin Ross Harris, who was charged with murder and second-degree child cruelty, will go before a judge for a probable cause hearing. It has been discovered that he had researched deaths in hot cars on the internet prior to the incident. Police say Harris left his 22-month-old son Cooper strapped into a car seat under a baking sun for 7 hours while he went to work. The boy died, and Harris has pled not guilty.
NASA is testing a flying saucer craft for a future manned mission to Mars. After several weather-related delays this month, NASA's new spacecraft lifted off from the U.S. Navy's Pacific Missile Range facility in Kauai, Hawaii. NASA said their current information indicates the spacecraft's rocket fired just as they hoped, with the expectation that it would rise up to about 180,000 feet, reaching the stratosphere. NASA officials are still going through the data to assess everything with what happened, noting that the only flaw known right now was that the parachute the space agency was testing had one issue.